Yes, we're in Scoglietti still, and this will be the photo trail shot on June's phone. I can't remember what number she'll call it when she puts it on YouTube. Might be number 11, I don't know. And what's different is I'm playing back the photos on the second-hand laptop that I got, running Windows 10 or 11 instead of the Chromebook. Anyhow, the story of how that happened will be in the photo trail, and hopefully this will work not too difficult. I did get a photo trail to run automatically, but then the operating system wasn't too familiar to me. So the first photo was taken outside the shop that I asked around, is there anywhere they sell old computers or fix them? And that's inside the shop, and the proprietor is Manuel, I think, and his mum there. I asked if they were brother and sister, but not to worry. And his name isn't Mickey, that's Mickey Mouse on his t-shirt. And yes, that's the business, Ketty and Manuel. Manuel is the proprietor, I think. So he fixes computers. And fingers crossed, the one I bought, which is the one I'm using here, will be okay. So, probably this is back at the room. Oh yes, it needed charging up. That was easy enough to just plug it in. And so now going through the photos. Yes, so that's where we were intending to go later in the day. June's here loading yesterday's video. So this photo trail is for Saturday, whatever day that was. And yeah, that's all working. And June had pointed out that there was in fact nothing wrong with the Chromebook. That was one of the things that speeded up me going looking for another computer, because she said, no, all you had to do was press the power key down and wait for a few seconds. I'd forgotten that. So all is good. Enrico, so they're with us. And of course, what we decided to do, well, I think we had our breakfast, and so I don't know, I lose track. That looks like we went into the town somewhere. Oh yes, that was it. Yes, it was an Australian, I think, who'd set up the business, one of the many lovely little places, and they had tennis on the television. Boring. Get enough of that at home. But, he says, they did have arancini. So I had one of each of the type, and Enrico's enjoying his cigar, Tuscany. And yes, so that was the place, I think, Dolce Dia. So enjoying lunch, that was, I think. Yes, lovely food, as is normal. So that was the place, Dolce Dia. And June is probably showing her video. Yes, Robin, when he gets a chance to do it, has a puff on one of Enrico's cigars. And so back in the room, which is here, and look at the trip we were planning to do. Now, the thing is, I looked up the name of it, which was Modica, and just down the coast, past, not far from the home of Montalbano, Punta Seca. So I said, why not do that? And that's where Punta Seca is, only a small diversion. But it turned out that, speaking to Enrico, no, that's Punta Seca by the beach. Punta Seca, the main city, is up in the hills. And that's where they're going, or where we're going. They're driving, of course. So just shows you, all that Google Maps advertising is pulling you down to the guys who are probably paying Google more money to give it a bit more priority. And we found it, and I just searched for something that sounded as though it was up in the hills, and yeah, had a bit of a relax. This is out the front of the hotel in Sicily. Yes, joined by the rest. And so then we're off to Modica up in the hills with Matilda driving, and yes, looking at how we're leaving the town and going along what brought back memories, familiar countryside, and making our way up, and that's where we got there. So that's in Modica. But in fact, the bit that we stopped in, probably planned, was the bottom of the town, not the top in the hill. And I think they called it Modica Basso, which is the low part. So we then made our way down, slightly downhill, and found some interesting places and people. There's Enrico. Yeah, a slight likeness with the famous guy there. Can't remember what his name was. And yeah, and what lovely timing, because it turned out there was a wedding going on, and we just timed it right. We came past the church or cathedral just as the happy couple were coming out. So lots of confetti thrown about, posing for photographs. June took some pictures, and yeah, Enrico and Matilda watching with us. Yes, thoroughly enjoyable. There we go. So we took quite a few pictures there, and so not sure where they're going now. Oh yes, I think that was the place in where chocolate was first made, and they went into the little store, and there's some models and pictures of people making chocolate many years ago, and that looks like a guy begging, not sure, which tied up with a interesting guy I chatted to, and he was there and probably making a crust by people popping something into his bowl. And but you sometimes get really good information from the local guys. So still walking around near the church, because there's still things going on. Some of it is the guys there clearing up. And there's also the little guard cats. And there were 3 little black cats guarding the premises. There we are. Then looking inside the church. Yes, so there's Enrico, Matilda, Samantha and June. Obviously large, lovely historic buildings. I think, as many towns, they were rebuilt after earthquakes. So I'm not sure how many years that goes back, but obviously when they're rebuilt in the same style as many 100 years ago. Yes. There we are, outside on the steps. And there's the happy couple. Saw them right across the road up high, and perhaps that's where their party's going to be after the wedding. Right up there. And of course, down in the valley, so there's hills. Yeah, slightly more serious subject. The memorial to the local guys who were lost in both wars. That might have been from just the First War. In the text, if you're able to read it. Yeah, so we then decide, I think, is that where we were eating? I don't know, I lose track. Oh yes, that clock was pointed out. Now, some people say that's the wrong time. It showed 3:15, very ancient clock at all, of course, very ancient, not sure how old that was. And the real time was 7:15. So Enrico pointed out, but he says it's correct exactly twice a day, if you think about it. 3:15 in the early hours and 3:15 in the afternoon. Forcing ourselves to have a glass of wine by the look of it. Oh yes, yeah, I had to improvise. I did explain that I just pressed the button by accident there. Not sure what I'm going to do about that. My hand slipped on that. Oh, typical. Right, I've got to cancel it, I guess. Cancel. There we go. Oh dear. Do I want to eliminate this file? No. No, I haven't got it completely into English here, so it's a bit confusing. Right, continue. Sorry, we were stuck a rather long time on that photo. And so we're enjoying, oh yeah, a little train comes past. We didn't take it, but that was one of the options for tourists. And there's the details about it. The tourist trip around Modica on the train. And that looks like the police station. And another cat. June saying hello to it. Hello, Mr. Cat or Mrs. Cat. Hello. And so where's that? Oh, was that it was a machine for, they said, oh Robin, to have your photo taken. So I put €2 in it and I was going to take some amusing photos, but he just took my €2 and didn't work. So I guess that's another means of getting money off tourists. That was the sort of picture I was hoping to take. Anyhow, continue our walk around the city of Modica, or at least the low part of it. And this is the restaurant that Matilda had booked. Probably she knows it well, I suppose. And looking at the menu, and yeah, June's checking videos or whatever, messages. Perhaps she's looking up the menu. Yes, drop of water. And yeah, so this was practically all meat dishes. So we're some distance from the sea. So yeah, cows and that are brought up in the area. I think they've gone through tough times with the dry weather. But yeah, so that's what we all had. Samantha very happy, of course, because she prefers meat, doesn't like vegetables. And that was an interesting dish. I can't remember, it was beans, I think, mashed up beans. And yes, I had some of that and it was good. So yes, that was the dish, the beans. So there was some of that, so I put some on my plate and enjoyed some of that. It was good. Oh yeah, little lizard came to say hello, and you could see he was doing a very useful job on the wall right near where we were sat, going round, and I don't know how many, he must have had a dozen insects that he caught while we were doing that. And so somebody at the door. Okay. Hi Enrico. No problem. See, just the photo trail. Sorry, Enrico speaks the English as well. I'm just finishing off the photo trail video, then June can put it on YouTube. So that's a little lizard, and yeah, so that's the wiring, and yeah, the lizard probably ate. Oh, there's Enrico. There's Enrico on the photo, and there's Enrico for real. And yeah, that lizard, he was quite a star, eating all the insects. So there's Enrico and Matilda looking up at the lizard, and I guess we've had it. That was the place, Osteria Saporzi, or something like that. And that photo didn't work. This looks as though we're making our way back, yeah, getting into the car. So, yeah, and of course, we've all the driving. And that looks like the end of the photo trail, possibly, because it's that picture on the wall. Yes, it is. So, that's it. That's the bedroom. And that's the end of the photo trail for the Saturday.